had to do.
He was very bright.
So, is it true that Leo had called you up to be a part of this film? Did you guys strike up a friendship after Inception, or how'd that work out?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we did. We met on Inception, and then we started a friendship from then. I've always wanted to work with him, and I didn't know if he would, when that would be. We talked about a couple of things, and he called me before I was about to start doing, I think it was Splinter Cell, because he said, you know, before you go running around jumping out of helicopters and shooting guns and stuff that I know you like to do, I want you to take a look at the script that I have. It's awesome. It's about a guy who gets attacked by a bear, and I was like, okay, you know, and it's by Alejandro, who's directing it, who's awesome, and da, da, da. And I was like, all right, and I check it out, and I read it, and I was like, ooh, it's pretty cool, and I really wanted to work with Leo, and I met Alejandro, and that was that, you know.
And there you have it.
Yeah. Oh, and then Sean Penn was supposed to play it before.
Right.
So like, oh, he's coming to me. Okay.
That felt good, right?
Let me take a look at that. Yeah.
Only safe thing to do is track a new course back up online.
Then what we gonna do? Sit out there like a bunch of goddamn ducks? You and your half-breed son get to walk on out? I'm talking to you.
How was it working with Alejandro? Because, I mean, he's very particular about a lot of things. How hands-on was he as far as directing you?
He never took his hands off, I think. You know,
Okay.
He's like a dog with a bone. He's ruthless in that aspect. And relentless in his pursuit for excellence, which would not ingratiate himself to, in some aspects, if he wasn't so gentle and soft and vulnerable and funny as well with it. He's a very big-hearted and kind individual if you tap into him, and good fun. And but his levels are very high. His standard is very high. His pursuit is, you know, I don't want to say ambitious because that's got ego sort of attached to it. But he set an achievement mission statement which was a very high level, and then he just kept going for it. And you know, if you put everybody in an environment which innately is quite, you know, in some aspects, you know, hostile, because it is right in the middle of nowhere, and it is, you know, full of, I mean, BC and where we were at, and it is, you know, it is bear country. It is, you know, like very, very, very cold. The weather is extreme.
Right.
You know, to mount an expedition out there, you know, just to go out skiing for days, but you know, you've got to be prepped. But to take sort of 300 or 400 people out there with camera equipment and shoot only in natural light, and you know, and then in the specificity of the period, and then in and out of the water and mountains and helicopters, orchestrated a huge amount of his mission statement. Just got bigger and bigger and bigger when it came to assets and facilitating that. And then the weather said no, not today. You know.
I mean, it's a lot about endurance, too, I think, when you're watching this film. So personally for you, what did you learn about you and your own reserves mentally and physically by the time you were done shooting this film?
I get bored quick, you know. Like 8 months is a long time to shoot a movie like this, you know what I mean, in some aspects, because I miss home. You know, I miss things. It's like, I get it already. I get it. Can we just shoot it faster? You know, endurance and patience and things like that for me. It's a long journey to like, I think we were supposed to shoot for 5 months initially, which was long enough, you know.
Right.
It became 9 months. And we were shooting in natural light, so it was only an hour and a half. We could get a footage a day, and then we'd rehearse it. So after a while it starts to become boring, for want of a better word, because you're living it. And you know, you want to just.
And that delayed you from the Suicide Squad. So
I had a completely bombed Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Right. So did you ever feel through that period, especially because the conditions were so grueling, that why did I take this film, or were you still?
No,
okay?
no, never. No, it wasn't that. I was completely committed to it. It was fantastic. The thing is, it's such a big piece. It's like, have you ever eaten a bowl of spaghetti? The more you eat, the more spaghetti ends up on your plate, or like pasta. Have you ever done that? Like, so you eat it, and it's like it never ends, and then you're full. But it's just, you have to hand back like your pasta plate, and it's still. And the Revenant just kept growing and growing and growing. The more you filmed it, and you know, and then the weather conditions and stuff changed. the variables and every day. But what was really wonderful about this film is there was still an element of, even though it was huge, epic, it was there were moments where Chivo and Alejandro would go off with their camera and like grab one of us and say, hey, quickly, before the end of the day, let's just run up there and grab a shot of you in this like non sequitur place. We may not even use it, but let's just shoot this, or you with a flame. And it was like being at school again, like a film school in many ways, but with, you know, all these toys and this epic place. So it was an incredible experience.
My son. The proper thing to do would be to finish him off quick.
He's to be cared for as long as necessary.
I understand. Help!
Let's talk about this experience. I mean, it seems like there were some grueling conditions that you had to work in. For both of you, what would you say was the most challenging thing?
The weather was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I think, you know, we felt very lucky that we got the opportunity to shoot in an environment that was so realistic, that kind of reduced the acting challenge, you know, in many respects, that we didn't have to fake to be tired, or fake to be cold, or fake to be frustrated at times. But it was the biggest challenge, you know, I think for everyone, cast and crew. You know, it's a very inhospitable environment to do anything in, let alone shoot something as ambitious as this. And yeah, a climate unlike anything, you know, I've ever experienced before. It's a unique corner of the world where we shot.
Yeah, it was difficult. It was set up to be difficult, and it was difficult. I think even more difficult maybe than was planned sometimes. And it had been planned to be very difficult. So yeah, it was challenging every day. And cumulatively over 7 months, that all adds up, you know. Yeah.
The film is about endurance for both of you individually. What was this journey like, and how did it help you understand your physical and mental strengths by the time you were done filming this?
I think we quickly realized that we were going to be pushed to our limits. You know, I think we we knew we were going to kind of explore our threshold. I don't think we expected to go so far beyond that, or that the film was going to be designed in a way to really truly put us through such a kind of realistic experience, or something so close to what our characters actually went through. But, you know, I think it's equipped us with a kind of resilience for the future. You know, I think we all kind of feel like if we survived the Revenant, then we can kind of take on anything.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Are there any favorite moments that each of you guys have from the film? Your scenes, or any other particular scene that stands out to you?
You know, I think this was so ambitious, and, you know, day to day we were trying to achieve things that required all of us to sort of, you know, push it to the max. And so when you achieve what you set out to achieve at the top of the day, after hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of everyone kind of, you know, moving at 100 miles an hour, it is so rewarding. So yeah, there are snapshots of, you know, times when we achieved very, very difficult, complex shots that were driving us nuts, sometimes for days on end. And, you know, everyone would sort of burst into applause and whatnot. So, like, you know, getting the battle scene and achieving the glass slope scene. And, you know, there were these moments where we, you know, we kind of gave ourselves a brief moment of celebration, you know, when we were achieving these difficult tasks.
Watching the film, I have to say, I mean, I'm not involved. The bear attack is just a bear and Leo, but that is one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen in a movie theater. So I would put that right up there. Yeah.
Thank you both so much. Happy holidays
Thank you.
to you both.
Appreciate it. And you too.
I ain't afraid to die anymore. I've done it already.
INARRITU.